I will tell you from personal experience, when elected official is working on an issue that's about to, it's either in committee in Albany or New York City or New York City Council, and they get a letter from the Bar Association, a memo in support or in opposition. It is influential and it is an extremely valuable service.
This is the Co-op and Condo Insider, the podcast dedicated to New York's cooperative and condominium communities. This is your trusted source for the latest insights, strategies, and stories shaping the world of shared housing. You will hear from the people who are leaders in this community, information and insights you will not hear anywhere else. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, you're in the right place. The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the host or any affiliated individuals or organizations.
Hello, and welcome to the Co-op and Condo Insider, where we explore the real-world issues facing co-op and condominium communities across New York City with insight, expertise, and a healthy dose of straight talk. Hello, I'm your host, Jeffrey Maisel. I'm a co-op attorney, legal advisor to the President's Co-op and Condo Council, and a proud member of the Queens Bar Association. Figured I'd throw that in there. Thrilled to be joined by my co-host, Richard Solomon, who will be joining the Queens Bar Association after this session, a seasoned voice in public radio for over 20 years. Richard has taken his listeners around the world to meet experts, newsmakers, and the people making a real difference in our everyday lives. Richard, great to have you on the mic with me today.
Always a pleasure, and greetings.
Well, so we have a special guest today. A lot of firsts for this person. She is Kristen Dubowski, the president of the Queens Bar Association. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kristen, let's go through some background. Tell us a bit about your legal background and your current practice.
Sure. So I wanted to thank you again for inviting me on your podcast. I am so excited to be here, and hopefully this podcast will be worth listening to for your listeners. I'm an attorney. I practice at the Queens Volunteer Lawyers Project at the Queens County Bar Association. The Queens Volunteer Lawyers Project is a nonprofit organization associated with the Queens County Bar Association, and I do foreclosure defense and consumer debt work with them. And then I'm fortunate that the Volunteer Lawyers Project is a nonprofit, and my boss allows us to also maintain our own practice as well. So in my own practice, I do guardianship work and estate planning, which I enjoy very much.
Okay, so you're actually helping people.
I try.
Okay. All right, Richard, that makes one of us. No, we appreciate your work. You were officially installed as the newest president last month with the Queens Bar Association. What inspired you to get involved in the Queens Bar?
Yeah, I've been president for a month now. It's been very exciting. I have been involved with the Bar Association pretty much since I started working at the Queens Volunteer Lawyers Project. I'm fortunate that our office was located in the Bar Association building, and pre-pandemic, a lot of our Bar Association functions were held in person. So I was able to participate in a lot of the committee meetings and the CLEs that the Bar Association had. And the more that I participated in those events and I met Bar Association members and some of the board members, the more I wanted to get involved. Became chair of some committees, and then I got on the board, and I've really enjoyed my time so far.
What committees were you members of?
I was chair of the Young Lawyers Committee for a while until they told me that I was too old.
Ouch.
But
There might be a lawsuit there, by the way.
yeah, I enjoyed that committee very much. It's now chaired by Sydney Spinner, and she's doing an amazing job. But the idea behind that committee was bringing in some newly admitted attorneys and law students and familiarizing them with the Bar Association and pairing them with more experienced practitioners. I also was chair of the mentorship committee, which is also kind of assisting newer, less experienced members, practitioners in developing relationships with experienced practitioners and helping them, whether it's through speed judging event, speed networking events, or just various happy hours, helping them make connections with experienced practitioners and judges, and helping them hone their networking skills.
Quick question. Where is the Bar Association located and what's the website?
So we recently moved. We were at our building for over 100 years, but we recently moved to 8814 Sutphin Boulevard on the third floor. Our website is www.qcba.org.
So I was at your installation. It was very touching because the year before we had the chief judge of the Court of Appeals swear in the president. And for you, we had your father. Tell us how that came about.
Thank you for attending. I'm glad you could join. Historically, the presidents have been sworn in by judges. And the immediate past president, Zenith Taylor, that was the case for her too. And she had an amazing installation. I have learned a lot from my dad's an attorney, and I have learned a lot from him. And I felt strongly that I wanted him to be the one to install me. And I was lucky that when I asked the executive director and the committee if that would be okay, they all embraced that idea. And so I didn't know he would be installing everyone. I just thought he'd be installing me. I think he was surprised by that too. But he was able to install me for my term as president, and he gave a nice speech as well, talking about how he's seen me grow as an attorney, and it was a lovely night.
It was very different than we all enjoyed seeing what a touching ceremony it was. So coming back to the Queen's Bar, what is the mission? What does the Queen's Bar Association do? What is its mission, and what is its purpose?
The Queens County Bar Association is an organization meant to serve the attorneys of Queens. We want to provide the attorneys with educational programming, support, committees that they're looking for to share their expertise, to learn, to inform the attorneys on any changes in the law or any updates, and a place to collaborate and share ideas, and networking with attorneys, judges, and even law students.
So you mentioned education. So there is a CLE program, continuing legal education program there?
Yes, we have continuing legal education programs that we put together. Our Academy of Law Committee works on putting those programs together, and it's in collaboration with our committees and our committee chairs. We have chairs for each committee that we have through the Bar Association, and we work together to put together educational programming that we think will help our attorneys grow. Either ABC's introductory CLEs, which are teaching basics, which are good for newly admitted attorneys or experienced practitioners that are just looking for a refresher or to learn a different practice area. And then we also have updates in certain practice areas. So for practitioners that are practicing in that area that need to keep up on any new changes in the law, we provide those annually as well.
Co-op and Condo Committee, which I am a co-chair, we've done many CLEs for the Bar Association on a variety of co-op and condo topics. And Mark Hank and my partner and I are planning on probably doing something in September or October. And they're always extremely well attended. I mean, 50 to 100 people is not unusual. And we used to do it in the building. And even those were well attended, although there was food there. So I don't know if they were there for the food or for us.
Is the cost of the CLE included in the membership price?
Yes, many of our CLEs are included. I'd say there's just a handful that are not, but that's one of the benefits of being a member is you get access to the CLEs. You can attend our CLEs for free. And if you thank you for planning your upcoming CLE. We're looking forward to it. If for some reason you miss a CLE, we have a library of our pre-recorded CLEs that you can always contact us and have access to those as well.
Do lawyers get credit for those?
Yes.
Good to know.
So if you're approaching your birthday and you need to get your credits before your re-registration, you can always contact the Bar Association and we'll put together a package of CLEs for you.
Hey, Jeff. Good. So good.
No, it's okay. We always make sure to have the required CLEs that you need for your registration, because that is constantly, there are new required CLEs that are being added. So we have all the ones you would need, your ethics, your cybersecurity. So we got you covered.
Jeff, you know that I think you get triple credit for being an instructor.
You do get extra credit for being an
I am aware of that. We love doing it, and it's a great chance to share our knowledge. And, you know, being a local practitioner and being a transfer agent for a lot of local co-ops, we are very friendly with a lot of local practitioners. So I guess they always sign up and show support. So it's always a family affair for us, but we do look forward to it. With respect to the bar, we have a co-op show here, so I figured, you know, I try to wrap in some co-op issues. So you mentioned certain services that are provided, legal services, and I know being a co-op attorney, very often when co-ops are usually, have professional management, professional attorneys, and shareholders don't. And shareholders very often are subjected to perhaps foreclosure proceedings, eviction proceedings, and the like. And they may need help or something, or they may be involved in a dispute with another shareholder with the board. Is there something the Queen's Bar offers people like, who don't, who maybe need legal referrals, legal advice, or something like that?
Yes, we do. We have a lawyer referral service that anyone can contact to get contact information for an experienced attorney in that practice area. So anyone is able to contact the Bar Association. They would ask for the lawyer referral service, and then they can meet with that attorney and they would get a consultation, and then going forward, hopefully the attorney is able to take on that matter.
Okay. Does the bar offer any mediation services?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, that's something we can talk about because I think that's a need.
That sounds like a good idea. We should talk. We want to fill the places where there is a need for help.
I know I'm most. Go ahead, Richard.
Is there a fee? Isn't there a fee mediation program, like a lawyer's fee mediation program?
There probably is. I know. I'm also a member of the bar, the New York City bar, and they had a very extensive mediation program. When there's a fee involved, people won't do it. Okay, plain and simple. In today's world with Zoom, mediations are easy. You don't have to go anywhere. I know certainly the neighbor disputes in the co-ops I represent. Sometimes it's included like in my monthly retainer. And if you have a properly trained mediator, it always helps. It just I was it's like it's like taking air out of the balloon kind of thing. And sometimes you're not going to walk out and they're not going to be best friends, but I think if they get a glimpse of the humanity of each other, it's been a success. So we can talk about that offline.
I like that. I'd like to. And I appreciate what you're saying, and I see how that could be successful.
I
So
think neighbor disputes are, it's pervasive. It's one of the, when you have shared housing, it's one of the biggest problems you have. And, either the landlord's got to get involved or, and again, if people could go to an online service, so to speak, it might be something interesting. So maybe we'll sign Richard up to run that, and once he joins, we'll go from there. Uh, so you mentioned your practice
yes.
and guardianship, and again, as a co-op attorney, uh, that's one of the great mysteries of what I do because you'll have, and again, one of the biggest problems we run into, especially with an aging population and aging residents, is people who can't handle their own affairs. And, they either they stop paying their maintenance, wander the halls, or they leave their stoves on, yell at people, hit people, whatever. I've seen everything. So, how do people, and then you have families, the problems really is when the family doesn't pick up the pieces, so to speak. So, how do practitioners engage in establishing a guardian proceeding? Who would they contact? Would they contact the bar? Would they contact someone like you? Or are there organizations they would contact to help protect a resident, in my case, a shareholder, but a resident who can't handle their affairs?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. There's such a growing need in every, wherever the person resides. But I can understand, especially in a shared living space, because where you live is so personal. So if there's someone in your building that's suffering with some kind of deficiency that's not allowing them to have a safe space for themselves or for others, it's concerning. I specifically practice in the area of Article 81 guardianships. So that's what I'm most familiar with. Article 81 guardianships deal with adults that are unable to care for themselves, and that inability is causing them ongoing help, either personally or financially. And um, we see this in various ways. Sometimes it's the action is brought by a family member who is involved and who's concerned, and potentially this alleged incapacitated person doesn't have their advance directives in place, and so the family member doesn't have the power to pay bills or to make medical decisions, and so they would have to petition the court to get the power to be appointed guardian.
So that they would bring that proceeding privately.
So they can bring the proceeding. Either they can retain counsel that would assist them in bringing the proceeding, or there are some people that do it pro se. The clerks in the guardianship part are, I think, particularly helpful, and so they I'm sure can assist in providing some guidance there. In other cases, you have a person who doesn't have family that's able to assist. And in that case, there's a third party that would make the application. And they petition the court and they say they don't necessarily want to be appointed guardian, but they say this person needs a guardian and they're in danger for the following reasons. They're leaving their stove on, they're wandering the halls, they're getting lost on the street, or they're not making their mortgage, their maintenance payments or their mortgage payments. They're not paying their electric bill. And
So let me just, I don't mean to interrupt, but so let's use the co-op example. I'm a co-op and I have all of the above that you just mentioned. Would I call an organization to do that? Would I make that, would the co-op as an organization make the application or
So
something
I
else?
Yeah, I believe you can retain counsel to draw the petition. And then once the court it's brought by order to show cause. And once that's before the court, then the judge would appoint what's called a court evaluator. And that's a person that basically acts as a detective. They're the eyes and the ears of the court. And they go and they speak with this alleged incapacitated person, and they meet with any of their family and friends and healthcare providers and neighbors and anyone that's involved in their life and their care. And they make a report and recommendation to the judge if they think that person does need a guardian. And then the judge conducts a hearing, and at that hearing, the judge will take testimony from that alleged incapacitated person, in addition to the court evaluator, and petitioner puts on that case. So petitioner will have witnesses describe why they feel this person is in need of a guardian. And very often, the guardianship petitions are looking for both personal needs and property management. So this person is, they may be able to physically feed themselves, but they're not able to organize meals on wheels so that they can get a food delivery to the house. They're not able to cook food, but they're not able to go to the grocery store and like get a pre-cooked meal. So they need assistance with that. And they also need assistance paying their bills and making sure that the money's due to them is coming in appropriately. So the court reviews all this, and then they ultimately make a ruling as to if a guardian should be appointed, and if there's a proposed guardian, if that guardian is appropriate.
And that could be an organization as well as an individual.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah. So what is it, New York City Adult Protective Services? What is their role in this whole
So
situation?
they get involved if there's a call that there's a call for concern that maybe there's an adult that is not capable of taking care of themselves, or maybe not being cared for appropriately. And they get involved to do their own evaluation and assess if there's anything that can be done to assist this person.
I mean, my experience with them, which is long running, is not that they're not that effective, unfortunately.
I think there are certain limitations to what people can do, and I think sometimes that makes it difficult. I think they also have large caseloads,
Yeah,
which I think makes it hard to manage. But if ultimately a court determines that someone needs a guardian, then a guardian will be put in place, and that should help get the incapacitated person, the help that they need and keep them safe.
Okay, next plug in. When we do the CLA on the co-op and condo, Richard, there's going to be a part about guardianships, and Kristen is going to be our guest speaker.
Cool. Does the guardian have to be licensed or bonded or something like that, or
Yes.
something like that? How's that work?
So the guardian takes a training. You could be two types of guardians, essentially. You could be a lay guardian, a family member that is appointed in that role, and you take a training. Or you could be, for example, an attorney that acts as guardian. You as well, you take a training, you learn what your role is, and then you do have to get bonded. And you, when the court puts the final order and judgment, signs off on that, it spells out what the powers of the guardian are and what they're able to do. And they'll spell out exactly what the guardian's role is and how they're going to proceed. And sometimes those powers need to be expanded because there are unexpected things that need to be addressed. And things that weren't anticipated, but that's kind of the guide that the Guardian will use to get what needs to be done done.
Does the Bar Association do the training?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Another valuable service. Yeah, I was going to mention before, being very active in, again, the Copeland Condo Committee and aware of the other committees. Um, another sort of layer of information and is legislative advocacy. And I know as part of the Copeland Condo Committee, we've been very active, and I'm personally active in legislative issues, and we've gotten tremendous support from the Bar Association. And I will tell you from personal experience, when a elected official is working on an issue that's about to, it's either in committee in Albany or New York City or New York City Council, and they get a letter from the Bar Association, a memo in support or in opposition, it is influential and it is an extremely valuable service. So I just wanted to mention that's another involvement and layer that the committees serve that is extremely important. All right, so we're about to wrap up here. Richard, did you get
I did.
the fun stuff?
I've got a little bit off script, but you know me. That's
Richard likes to go off script. So, Richard, go ahead.
all right. The rapid fire questions. Question number one: do you get a cool reserved parking spot for being the Queen's Bar president?
No, I do
Oh
not.
man, you got to make changes.
He would never say it on air, Richard.
All right. What's your favorite place to have lunch on Sutphin Boulevard?
Oh, that's a good question. There are a couple good places. I like that Colombian,
The one on the
that
corner.
Colombian restaurant
Yeah.
on the corner. I
Yeah.
think they have really good, rice and beans and chicken. I love it.
I like that place. I like Punto Rojo. I like El Rey. So I like all that stuff. All right. What surprised you most about the Queen's Bar Association that most people really wouldn't know if they weren't an insider like you?
We are going to be celebrating our 150th anniversary, which is kind of crazy to me. We're one of the oldest bar associations in the state of New York. We have big celebrations that we're planning coming up, and I I'm interested to see how the Bar Association has changed over 150 years. I'm looking to see what kind of demographics we can see about what our membership was as compared to now. Yes.
Well, I can testify to the last 40 years, and it has been an incredible transformation. And you can see it in the selection of judges and the members, and it's a much more diverse organization, both age-wise. It's multicultural. It's really changed tremendously over the years, yet still serves the same mission and still feels the same. It still feels, those dinners at Terrace on the, where is it?
Terrace
Terrace on the Park.
Yep.
Just at least the food hasn't changed in 40 years. But
so this is a question for both of you guys. Since there's going to be a big celebration, are you going to do a time capsule? And Jeff, are you going to contribute any of the artifacts from the last 40 years, including maybe a CD copy of this episode?
Well, I think I would be the artifact. No, but I do remember being a young lawyer, and our senior partner was a gentleman, Martin Sukoff, who was from Howard Beach. And he was a very active member of the Queen's Bar, even though our office was in Manhattan. And we used to go, I was 25 years old, and we used to go to all these events. And it was at that point very intimidating for me. Everybody looked really important. And, they just looked so, just so prim, proper, experienced. And so I've seen it over my lifetime, and it's really been thrilling.
So, by the way, if you're a member of another bar association, do you get a discount? So, because, like a little bit of a credit off for being in multiple bar associations.
We don't have that currently, but it is something that's been discussed. So it could be something in the works because bar associations are so important, and there are so many bar associations in Queens that you can participate in, and they each promote the importance of supporting the legal community and their members. So we want people to join multiple bar associations and participate in all the different events they have. But it's not something we have currently in place.
Are you? I thought I heard. Are you the youngest president of the Queens Bar? Did I hear that
Not.
somewhere?
There's one, I think one president that beat me out by about a year.
Okay, all right. So never mind.
That would have been, I know, that would have been a
Well,
good
it would have been 150 years yet we have our youngest president. It would have been a
Yeah.
nice package. If you weren't a lawyer, what career might you have pursued?
I would have been an educator. I guess I'm not like a super think outside the box. My dad's a lawyer and my mom's a teacher. And when I was in college, I was deciding I did an education minor, thinking I might go be a teacher, and then also thinking maybe I'll go to law school, and I decided to go to law school. But my other path would have been an elementary school teacher.
Well, I will tell you, my daughter is a first grade teacher, and she does love her career. So
I
I
mean,
think,
I think it's similar, right? You're dealing with managing people that are going through difficult things, just like, a first grader that's having a difficult time. It's
well,
a
we,
similar.
well, we had this conversation yesterday because she's in the process of buying a house, and she was speaking to the bank about whatever, and she said, I felt so out of place. I didn't really even know what to ask. And I said, yeah, but if you asked me to set up a first grade classroom, I mean, I wouldn't know what pictures to put on the walls,
Exactly.
So it's they both have their expertise that comes about over years of experience. So listen, Kristen, thank you so much. This was fun.
Thank you.
We are running out of time. I would like to invite you to come back again when we have more other things to discuss and more information about the Bar Association and about your career. Richard, as always, a good time. And everybody
Yes,
out
sir.
there, thank you for listening to the Co-op and Condo Insider. And Kristen, by the way, you are now a Co-op and Condo Insider, so congratulations.
Thanks for listening to the Co-op and Condo Insider. We hope you found today's conversation informative and insightful. Don't forget to subscribe. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Until next time, stay informed.